Strictly Rockers, WERS 88.9 FM in Boston. My name is Doug Herzog, and you have been listening to the soulful sounds of Loose Caboose.
Rootsman!
That's it. Let me just run down the set for you and the band, and we'll do a little talking, and we'll give the guys a break to go catch a breath and something to wet their whistle with. Country Living was the first cut, and that's a Heptones tune, followed by Dealer's World, Sweet Talkin', and Roots Rock Reggae. That reminds me, just before I came over here this evening, Pat Rusty Cantwell, the head of the news department here at WERS, called me up and said, Doug, you got to watch this program on Channel 2. And what they had this evening was a program entitled Roots Rock Reggae. It was a documentary on reggae music in Jamaica, and was really very heavy, unbelievable. There were many artists who appeared, including Bob Marley, Third World, Jimmy Cliff, Ross Michael, the Mighty Diamonds, and it was just truly incredible. But in any case, that was from 8 to 9 tonight, and hopefully if you pester Channel 2, which is WGBH here in Boston enough, maybe they'll show it again. The members of the band Loose Caboose are as follows. Dave Boatwright is the lead guitarist, and Loose Caboose then comes up with their answer to the Barrett brothers. They have the Dorr brothers, Jonathan and Allyn Dorr. Jonathan on guitar, Allyn Dorr on bass. James, is this James Cheney? Cheney? I'm sorry. James Cheney on the drums, Boo Pearson percussion. That's not Drew Pearson. And the very talented and charismatic John Bullock on the lead vocals, and hopefully he'll be back in just a second so we can talk to him. And the two people who should definitely not be forgotten while we're talking about the live mix tonight are standing in the glass booth there. Mickey Scratch Chisholm and Phil the Upsetter Adler back there doing the mix down and the mix up and all the good sounds that you're hearing. They're really doing quite a job in there. And of course, as always, Fred Locke Spagano holding down the controls. How is Battlestar Galactica tonight, Fred? This is great, great. Okay, before we go any further, I'll bring over Jonathan Dorr, and hopefully he'll talk to us for a minute or two. I feel like Bob McAllister here on Wonderama, making my way. By the way, let me not fail to mention the dignitaries here this evening. Linda Cameron from Sweet Potato Magazine, who, by the way, wrote an excellent article about Jimmy Cliff when he was in Boston, is here this evening checking out the band, the sounds, and everything else, as well as a number of staff members of WERS and the Reggae Elite. So without further ado, let me pose the question to the band is this: when did you guys start picking up on the reggae sound, and why all the way up here in Massachusetts? That's got to be the first question. This is Jonathan Dorr.
Howdy.
How you doing?
About 3.5 to 4 years ago, first hearing Eric Clapton play I Shot the Sheriff Naturally, hearing that, and then getting a hold of the original copy of that, and Catch a Fire.
Classic Bob Marley albums, by the way.
And we just started just absorbing it like a sponge because it was a new form of music.
And how did folks in your part of the state, which is, I don't know, I'm not that familiar with Central Massachusetts, how did they take to this new sound?
Well, there's only a couple places to play around there. There's Warwick, and there's a couple of good big clubs like the Rusty Nail in Sunderland. We just started playing there recently in the last year. And there's just a lot of clubs, a lot of colleges as well.
And people are coming out to hear the reggae music there?
Yeah, plenty of people.
Okay, let me also jump this in. Linda Cameron helped me with a few of the questions here that we should throw up, and I thank her for that. It has been said that you guys have described reggae music as the new grassroots music that's taking over. Can I get anybody to expand on that?
Sure.
Okay, behind me, John Bullock, who the lead vocalist here of the band.
Yeah, like we do consider reggae to be the most unique and real up-and-coming form of music that's happening now. And what we're doing is what we describe as stateside reggae, which is reggae stateside because we were all born here in America and must live through it. And one of the things that helps us to live through it is playing reggae music.
Let me ask you, where did you first come in contact with reggae music?
About 7 years ago, I had a Rasta friend. His name was Rug, and he was a guitar player from Jamaica.
Is that the third world guitar player, Ruggs?
No, this is another Ruggs. Very similar in what they were into, but he told me about Rastafari and more by his actions than his words, and it was true. I follow the path, and it has helped me immensely. And as long as I live, so lives Haile Selassie I.
Okay. Another, how about Dave? Would you like to, Dave Boatwright, lead guitarist, would you like to comment on the grassroots reggae sound?
Well, there seems to be a lot of talk these days about groups like Third World and Peter Tosh and how their sound is changing, and I feel that their music is beautiful music, and I also listen to the stuff that's coming straight off the island, which is probably, I guess you could say, more grassroots because it's released locally there or whatever. But I really support groups like Third World, and
Your sound seems to be more, you take in more of an American soul sound, which actually is the one of the originating sources of reggae music, and you seem to have brought that back into the music. You know, when the Rocksteady first started, they were listening to a lot of the R&B coming over the air from Miami and New Orleans. You know, the American sound, and right, the soul music of the '60s. So you guys, you know, you put together a very good dance sound, which is something that the reggae audience certainly likes to do.
yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would, and I'd like to say that I support groups like Third World, and I hope that they continue to be played over here.
That's yeah. Well, they've got a hit single now with now that I was watching American Bandstand on Saturday, and I swear to God, Dick Clark put it on as young. You know, he's a 50-year-old cologne, that guy, but he put it on. He still looks so young. It's unbelievable. Reggae is I would say that reggae figures into the sociological realm of Jamaica more than anything else, and it's a very people music. It's a way of life for the people in Jamaica, and here it's maybe some of the reasons that it can't get over is because it's not our way of life. We're not going after the same thing. And Linda Cameron from Sweet Potato Magazine, again, came up with a very interesting question. You know, this decade has been called the Me Decade, and the question I pose is, how does the we music, or we the people music, like reggae music, fitting in here in the States with the Me Decade? Anybody want to go into that?
Yeah, well, I don't know about the Me Decade thing. That's something I read about somewhere a couple years ago, and the decade's already almost over with. But
we're moving into the disco decade.
People music, most real music. I mean, all music is made by people. And Louis Armstrong said, "I never heard any horses sing it." And so it's all folk music, but sometimes you get the record producers sometimes will put out records, and you'll hear records on the radio that don't sound like they're made by human beings because they don't seem to convey any feeling. And so that's how I feel about reggae music, is that it has a lot of feeling, and as such, it brings people together.
All right.
Rather than divides them.
Hopefully we're bringing a lot of people together this evening. It's 12:30. We're about halfway done here, and there's going to be a lot more good music to come here on WERS. We're here with Loose Caboose tonight, and they're bringing you some live reggae sounds that certainly cannot be beat. My name is Doug Herzog. We play reggae music every Sunday night from 11 p.m. till 2 a.m. in the morning. The last couple of weeks have been very exciting here. We've had Peter Simon and Stephen Davis, a rare interview from Peter Tosh, and White Ram will be back next week. That's February 11th, the return of White Ram here to Strictly Rockers Airwaves. And the number here, if you'd like to call up and pat old Scratch Phil or the Mickey the Upsetter on the back, is 267-7821, because they're doing a great job with the mix, really. A salute to those guys. And, of course, Fred Pagano holding down the controls here. I think before we go on any further, we'll give these guys just a little bit more of a breather, and we'll play a record or two. And we'll get back to Loose Caboose and some more live music. We'll play about 2 singles. So please stay by your radio, call your friends, keep your tape machine going. The skank is going hot and heavy here. WERS 88.9 FM, Strictly Rock.